everybody. Welcome back to a special edition of the Southern Fried Geekery podcast. Yeah, I like that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
That was the hotness.
Right?
So, for those of you who are wondering what we're doing, putting out an early episode, this is our 2019 mid-year halftime report. So, we're going to be talking about the best of the books that have hit the shelves so far in 2019. We are recording live at our personal local comic shop. We are at Kapow Comics in Sherwood, Arkansas. We would like to send a special shout out to the proprietor and owner Matt, who is in the audience today, for letting us. He's joined by Vampirella and Time Cop for letting us host this live showing here. We've got some free pizza. We've had a lot of people come through. It's been a lot of fun so far. Ready to kick this thing off. But if you're wondering who we are besides that, so if the folks out there who are sitting and listening are wondering why are these people in the back of the store making noises, I am Caleb Alexander McKenzie.
Matt Trogdon.
Craig Lance.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Jerry.
And it's good to be here. This is, like I said, a special episode. So I guess we should just kind of get right into things.
Yeah.
So to speak. So we're not here all night. But the great thing about recording at night is I do have a beer, and that's rad.
It's factual. I can confirm.
You can have beer on Sunday morning, too.
You really can.
I do.
You're an adult.
We
you can have whatever you want.
So let's get started with. I guess we're going to get started with the non-comics. I just want to reiterate again. These are not the best comics. Like we're not making a statement on quality or judgment. These are just our favorites. These are our favorite things that have happened so far in 2019, and we want to do this because 12 months is a long ass time, right? There's a lot that, like, again, I drink a lot, so I'm going to forget a whole lot of comics. Even though I'm a spreadsheet queen, I forget a whole lot of comics throughout the year. So just like what we're doing is we're going to talk about some of the stuff that we've really enjoyed so far, and it by the end of the year it could turn out to be our favorite things. Who knows? There's lots of great stuff that stands the test of time. But let's start off with the comics adjacent stuff. Let's talk about. Let's go with movie first. What has so far this year been our favorite movie? Sean, we'll start with you, brother. Kick us off.
All right. I'm going to kick off with a movie I only watched recently, and that's John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Okay.
Like, this movie is just one of the most amazing action films I've seen, and it's just held on par with the rest of the franchise. It's putting it as the top for me. The John Wick franchise as a whole is amazing, and 3 has kept up the momentum.
Nice. Jerry.
I had a few, but the one that I think I'm gonna
You're allowed to pick
list
one.
Only one.
is
One. Matt will get mad.
Alita: Battle Angel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
came out earlier this year, and it was phenomenal. Like way exceeded my expectations.
Should be soon.
It's on streaming.
Listen, Peanut Gallery.
Craig, we'll go with you next. Sorry,
I'm going to go with a little low-budget movie called Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say any more than that. We did a whole special on it.
We
Go
did.
listen
You
to our
should
special.
Go back and listen to that if you haven't. It was good stuff.
Same. Yeah, I went Avengers Endgame as well. I kind of thought, honestly, I thought everybody would.
I felt safe enough to pick another movie because I knew that was going to be on somebody's list.
Well, to no one's surprise, I went with Avengers Endgame.
That's fair.
It's a solid movie, man. It's like to have that many characters on the screen to just blow the box office out of the water, and to not make it. The balance was great. I loved everything about it. It's gonna be hard for Marvel to top that film, and not to mention the top of the franchise. Like it's 20. There's been 21, 20. I guess for Spider-Man, 22 films now. From Marvel, and it's solidly my favorite film out of that.
23.
23, okay, yeah.
Craig just counted all of them in his head.
He did.
Just then.
Yeah,
Maybe 24, but it's not 21 or 22.
I think it's 20. I think it's 23.
It wasn't on my list at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bright Burning Glass.
Controversy.
Wow.
Ooh.
What a bold statement.
That was the last one was a bold statement.
Bright burner glass.
Glass.
Okay. What about
It's
you?
not a bad movie.
Matt, we'll go with you since you own the store. Well,
Just for superhero stuff, I think Shazam's better than Endgame.
really? Okay.
Vampirella, what was your favorite?
All right, TV shows. There's been a lot of great stuff, not just on the big screen this year, but there's been a lot happening on the small screen.
Yeah.
And again, these don't have to be comic specific with these things, but especially for somebody like me who doesn't watch a lot of television. Craig, what's been your favorite TV show of the year so far?
I've literally watched hardly anything this year. Maybe one show. So I'm going to go with Your Pretty Face Goes to Hell.
Okay.
Nice.
It's on Adult Swim, and don't ask me what night the new episodes come on, but that's all I got.
Oh, mine is easy. Doom Patrol.
Okay.
It was phenomenal. The way that they portrayed the characters is absolutely perfect. They put enough Grant Morrison in it to appease the fans of Grant Morrison. It was Grant. It was fantastic.
It was Grant.
It was Grant.
Grant.
It was
Very
fantastic.
Yeah.
Can Grant Morrison fans get enough Grant Morrison?
Can you appease the Grant Morrison fan?
I don't
No.
think
Can
so.
that happen?
True.
No.
Sean, what's your TV show, brother?
For me, it was Good Omens.
Okay.
Fantastic show, just about look at religion, good versus evil dichotomy, and everything else. Enjoyable show. Loved it.
Gale,
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
It's a gay.
Angel Demon gay love story. It's really good.
Oh, I thought you were just meaning that's how you and
Yeah,
John
no.
interact.
Touch my hand. Take me on a ride.
We're learning things today.
They're touching tips for those of you that are not watching.
I didn't do
We,
this.
we actually did sing the Never Ending Story song to each other the other day.
We did.
Nice.
It's like at least the gayest, like more gay than me by 10%.
Step
10%.
two,
We're up to 10%.
Not the gayest one in the room.
What you got, Matt?
So, to be fair, I don't watch any TV to speak of, so I haven't seen any of the new DC series. So, the only thing I watch is Forged in Fire. They make swords, and then they destroy stuff with those swords.
That sounds like totally.
That's the most Matt thing you've ever said.
Right.
It's hosted by.
It's a cool show.
Some wrestler.
It's not.
No,
Is
it's
it not?
That's
No, sir.
Yeah, that's a
I
different.
think there is another sword
No,
making show.
you are half right. There's a Knife or Death
Oh, okay. That's
hosted by Mr. Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg.
Oh, okay.
It's hilariously bad.
Well, Goldberg's attached to it, so makes sense.
He's hilarious in that show. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, I
What's
was
the
wrong.
bad part?
His enthusiasm
Okay.
over people cutting chickens and so whatnot.
I recant my statement. I want to hear Goldberg say, "Cut that fucking chicken!"
Oh, you do?
on TV.
He
I need
kicked
to
that
watch this
chicken's
show.
ass.
I will pay to watch that. Actually,
So mine is not a comics television show, but it is based off of a series of novels and it is Tales of the City, which you can find on Netflix. It is based off of, like I said, novels by Armstead Maupin. It's about life in San Francisco. The books took place shortly, like post 60s era, maybe 70s. But this film actually takes place in the modern era, and it's got.
I thought we were doing TV shows.
It is. Yeah, it's a TV show. I said film. I'm sorry. Words. But did I mention I'm drinking? This is great. But the television show, the series, as it were, it takes place current era. Got a phenomenal cast. It's good stuff all around. Lots of just for me personally. There's a lot of queer vocabulary, a lot of queer life happening on the screen. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
I likes it. Jerry and Sean should be giddy over this next next category. Favorite anime or animated film series, and I'm probably doing
Or series.
silence you.
Film or series.
film or series, and I'm probably doing something a disservice by putting.
Are we the only two that have?
No, I have an animated film.
Oh.
I have an animated film. It's not anime, but it's an animated film. So,
Well, you guys go ahead then.
well, I'll start off since I haven't done that yet. Mine is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Good.
That
into
is-
last year, wasn't it?
Was
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Mine's still Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Fuck you. I'm editing this thing.
Would have
so-
worked. I think it would have worked for me because I don't think I saw it until like January.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sean,
I
that
watched
is
it
correct.
I thought
It
we
just
were doing this by the Chinese. New
It
Year.
just came out. It just came out on Netflix, so that's what I'm counting it as. So maybe that doesn't work, but I'll have a different one by December this year. So that's mine.
Mine was also Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Craig and I have spoken, so fuck all you naysayers.
hive mind bullshit.
You
going
just
on
sit
over
out there and put pizza in your mouth. Don't side eye me.
The only reason why I know that it came out last year is because I was going to put it on this list, and then I looked it up and was like, oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
the thing you look up, Jerry.
Why
Just
did
so
you?
we could prove you're wrong.
I'm fucking with you. He's giving me the side eye.
He is. He is.
Jerry, it's okay.
These are the performances we demand.
Show me where Caleb touched you on the doll.
Do I get a Golden Globe for this one?
You do.
Do I win an Eisner?
Caleb's got a couple of Golden Globes for you.
Can you win Eisners for something?
We can steal one from Tom King.
Okay.
He won't
No
notice.
worries. He's got plenty.
Right.
His mantle's full, son. They're spilling off.
I actually didn't watch as much anime as normal for this past season, but the ones that Steph and I watched that I enjoyed the most was Demon Slayer and Shield Hero.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was Goblin Slayer this year?
No, it's last year.
No, that was last year.
I knew that.
I'm just. I got nothing.
He looked
for
that
you.
up, Jared. Yeah, Demon Slayer, 100% best anime that came out this year.
Okay.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's why I love y'all.
Sean.
Sean and
Yeah.
Jerry
How's
just
it
touched the
going?
tips again.
How's it going, buddy?
We got our hive mind on this side of the table. Y'all got y'all's on your side of the table.
What was How to Train Your Dragon 3?
Yes.
this
It was
year?
this year,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
so pick that.
I'll supplementary pick
Yeah.
that one.
I mean,
because-
technically, if you want to go animated, fucking Lion King was an animated film that came out this year.
yeah, that's true.
You just watched that last
I
night.
vote Dumbo then.
Even though I did, hey Dumbo, I haven't seen that yet, but no. Even if considering Lion King, I wouldn't say that was my favorite. I can go watch the old one again and be more satisfied.
Right.
I did enjoy that film. I saw it this past week, and
Awesome.
it's good stuff. I was entertained.
Been hearing mostly
Um,
positive.
There was a baby that was crying all the way through it, which pissed me off. But to make it better, the two chicks who were sitting in front of me almost got in a fight, and so that
During
was
the Lion
funny.
King?
That's
During-
the
yes.
best Lion King experience you could
Yes.
ask for,
Can
really.
you
There-
actually explain it like that eloquent status that you made about it last night?
It was a few nights ago, but I forget what was I talking about, the baby, or was I talking
The
about
baby.
Yeah, I guess it was Thursday night because that's the night I asked if you wanted.
Nah, folks can just go find that on the internet.
Follow us on Facebook to see all of Caleb's rants and raves.
Somebody brought their baby and let it cry through 3 whole Hakuna Matata. I forget what I said.
Yeah.
You cried through
Hakuna
3 whole
Matata.
circles of life, and I understood Scar for a brief moment,
Oh,
wanting
wow.
to just toss that motherfucker off a cliff. I mean, the parent, not the baby. It's not the baby's fault. It's the parent's fault for making a bad baby. But
He said, yes, Scar, I will be prepared.
that thing came out defective.
Bad baby.
put a plug in it. Do something. God damn it.
There are no bad babies, only bad teachers or something like that.
Freaking breeders.
All right, this next category. Favorite video game so far this year. Matt, I'm gonna let you go first.
That was last year as well.
I'm still playing those. Oh.
Yep, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's longevity is maintaining.
Oh my gosh. It's like drugs.
Sean.
Actually, mine is a Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's a game that came out recently on all the systems, actually, but I got the Switch version. And even despite the many issues the Switch version actually has with, like, slowdown and crashing, still enjoyed the shit out of this game. It's a Metroid style, like Symphony of the Night, if you know that Castlevania game. And it's fun as hell. And if you have a PS4 or an Xbox, get on that instead of Switch.
Okay. Fair enough.
I enjoyed the shit out of it regardless.
I've been playing nothing but Final Fantasy 14 this year.
Nice.
And it's constantly coming up with updates, so that kind of makes it a new game every couple of months.
That
So,
came out in
yeah.
2015, sir.
Yeah, well, Shadowbringers just
But the
came out.
update.
But the update,
Yes,
right?
Shadowbringers just came out
Right.
this month, sir.
In that case, I'm
True.
going with Witcher 3 if there's no rules on this shit.
Oh, really? I want to change mine to Cubert. This is fuck you all. I still play Tetris.
Hell
yeah.
I'll go with MLB The Show 2019.
Okay.
It's the only game I'm playing
That
right
is
now. So.
you said 18 last year.
I know,
Greg.
and if we did this in 2017, that's what I want to say.
No, you
Actually,
said Red
last
Dead
year I
Redemption.
said Red Dead
Yeah,
Redemption.
yeah. You did it properly last
At the
Uh,
midterms, I said MLB The Show.
The midterms.
Midterm.
year.
Whatever.
This
SFG 2020.
to be, Craig is not drinking, just so you know.
This is the all natural.
I spiked
he's
my
just
Mountain
Craigin'.
Dew.
I have not played a single video game that was not Pokemon Go in 2019. Seriously, have not turned on my PS4.
Wow.
Haven't. So I'm gonna go. And again, this may not count. I think it came out this year.
Look, we make our own rules and we break our own rules. It's okay.
Yeah,
Go with it.
You added it onto the list.
based solely on what I saw friends of mine who are avid gamers play. The Spider-Man game.
Oh, yeah.
from
That was
like-
last year.
Was it
It was
last year?
last
Okay,
year,
yeah.
yeah.
So I got
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
It came out
Hell
before
yeah.
Red Dead
It
Redemption.
updated. This is look. I don't play. I don't play video games. It's not
true.
a thing I do.
You used to play some download back.
I do.
Biggest geek news of the year. I'm going to say it was Stan Lee's death. So I'm just doing everything from last year.
So I mean that is our next. This is why you should listen to us, audience. That is our next
Please don't
category,
spill that
Craig.
on our stuff.
You led it right into us. What is the biggest geek of the news?
You let it right into us.
I'm a professional.
Let us right into it.
This Hogarden beer is great. What is the biggest geek news so far this year? Craig, you kick us off on this one, man.
For me, it's been the Star Wars trailer.
Okay. Which you want to the one that just came out or
The teaser, they've only had the one so
Okay.
far, unless they released one this weekend that I haven't seen yet.
Mine is kind of a sad one, and it's plugging two into one, and that is the shuttering of the doors of two major publishers or publications, so to speak. And I'm tying these in together because it's the state of the magazine industry, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, no, okay, so, but it's two publishers shutting. It's the state of publications. So both Mad and Vertigo shut down this year, and those are both long-standing, iconic titles. Vertigo being an imprint, Mad being something that's been around longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, fuck DC. Shutting
so
down everything.
Both of those closing their doors hurts my soul. But that's the biggest news so far this year is losing an icon. And even though I wasn't buying it, I can't speak to I don't know. And Matt, you're like, do you have anybody who subscribes to Mad?
Craig.
Just Craig? Okay.
Yeah,
so
Disney. I bet
They-
Disney was
they went
responsible
heavy
for
for
this
it.
somehow.
It's been very heavy political
Yeah.
instead of satirical.
Not every issue.
Yeah.
This new run.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is that this year's been heavy political instead of satirical for movies and things like that.
Yeah. That might have had something to do with it. I mean, but those magazines just don't sell the way they used to.
Magazines do not.
Yeah,
sell.
magazines
So-
For sure.
What you got, Matt?
Yeah, that was sad. You should have just picked one. Biggest news for me was the announcement of the Dune movie casting.
Oh yeah.
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 Who wrote the original Dune, Caleb? Who was that?
Fuck, don't get me. I'm drinking.
Frank Edinburgh.
Oh. That's right. Who wrote Dune?
Stanley?
Wow.
I was L. Ron Hubbard, right?
George Lucas.
Hey, L. Ron Herbert at least is in the ballpark. I mean,
It's Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert?
Yes.
Is he right?
He's right.
Okay.
I said it like 5 minutes ago. Y'all just ignored me and laughed.
That's what we do, Craig.
I've never actually read the Dune series, so
Neither have I.
Oh, that's okay.
I tried to listen to it
It's
on
a safe
Audible.
environment. We can say these things.
right. There's nothing but love here. Sean, biggest geek news.
I'm with you. Actually, it was the closing of Vertigo.
Okay.
That was for me. Yeah.
All right.
You're not going to pick two?
Oh, I mean, I can go too. Also,
He
Mad
said-
Magazine closing down. I'm just gonna rip off Caleb completely then. But no, yeah, them closing down Vertigo. Yeah, that hit pretty hard. I think that was pretty big news.
I put X-Men and Final Fantasy being back, or Final Fantasy. X-Men and Fantastic Four being back.
Okay.
With Marvel, but see now, when was it actually finalized? Because I kept
It
seeing
was this
different-
year.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It,
So
it was
that-
2019. It's okay.
The
Yeah.
Disney
Okay,
Fox
good.
merger.
Right. Yeah. That
It
got
wasn't
finalized
the
this
same year as Spider-Man the video game, Spider-Man
No.
Into the Spider-Verse,
Red Dead
or
Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Was not.
Hey, if the Eisners can do 2019 and only have 2018 stuff on there, we can do
You're not
2019.
wrong.
What is the coolest geeky collectible, like a toy, statue, pops, etc. In like pop culture today? Who hasn't gone first yet?
Diamond Select.
Matt
that's a-
has not gone. So as far as a local retailer, the Diamond Select's doing pretty well for you, man.
That's the gallery stuff, the PVC diorama.
Yeah.
That's actually what I had on my
That
list
that
as
was
well.
actually mine. That was my
I
pick.
actually had Marvel Legends,
Okay,
but
yeah.
Matt doesn't get those in his shop, so I'm gonna have to fucking search for a Beta Ray Bill figure now. Thanks, man.
I can order you a case. And you can get one out and then deal with the rest of it yourself.
Is that what? So they make you buy an entire
Yeah,
case
yeah,
of it?
for
Wow.
Legends. Yeah, it's
Everything
pretty
Hasbro,
fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
jeez.
That would.
Carlin, the whole
That's
Yeah.
a good reason not to buy them.
Yeah. They do. I think it's because they own Power Rangers now too, so it'd be the same thing with that. But yeah, I had Marvel Legends on my list.
All right.
It's I don't know. I've always really liked the figures that come with Build-A-Figures.
Mhm.
Like, it's a really fucked up gimmick, and I hate it so much, but goddamn, I bought every single figure to make that giant monster Venom.
That's capitalism doing it for you.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Free market.
You got a free figure.
That is the
Is that how that
retailer.
works?
That is the retail answer.
But I've got like 3 figures that I kind of want.
Sean, what's your collectible?
Mine is the My Hero Academia Funko Mystery Box. That was a GameStop exclusive. Came with 2 exclusive pop. Fuck you, man.
GameStop.
It was an exclusive, sir. You have exclusives in your store that weren't from exclusive to Kapow, were they?
It's the devil.
I worked for them. I know this. But yeah, the exclusive pops I had in that box set with all the little stuff, it was really cool. I liked it.
Awesome.
Yeah, the Diamond Select thing. That's my answer as well.
Since we like, there's so much overlap here because that was mine. Can I just say bags and boards? Does that count as like a collectible?
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
that's mine.
Best product of
Well, bags,
2019.
bags and boards came out in like 1972.
The ones I got were made this year, sir.
So you think?
What is this is a fun one because we you can kind of select ourselves if we want to. But what is our favorite podcast or like geek YouTube channel? Matt, you go first on this one, buddy.
Mine is Radio versus the Martians.
Okay.
That's so.
Tell me about this. I do not know about
So
this.
what they do is they'll pick a geek topic and they bring in an expert, somebody that's got a long history of interest in readership with said topic, and they just dive deep into it and analyze it, how it's been done well in media, how it's been done wrong. They like to do high point, low point, which is like they talked about Conan the Barbarian at one point, and it's like what's the best when was Conan the Barbarian's high point? And everybody says, well, I think he was at his best during the John Buscema, Roy Thomas Marvel run. And the low point, I remember listening to that. One of the low points was the Saturday morning cartoon for Conan the Barbarian.
Sure.
Oh hell yeah!
If everybody remembers that with
Yeah.
Conan with his magic sword.
I watched the shit out of that show.
The opening to that cartoon was Lies, because the opening was amazing. It was totally metal. And then the show started.
That's pretty much defines every 80s cartoon ever.
But none of them lied like this one did. Such lies.
I forgot that was made on
How do you-
purpose.
did it
I remember
hurt you,
watching that
like,
back in the
in
day.
your soul.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how many R-rated franchises got Saturday morning cartoons
Yeah.
back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Beetlejuice.
Toxic Avenger still had a Saturday morning cartoon.
Beetlejuice wasn't R?
Nah, PG-13, I think.
Yeah, but the biggest one for me is still the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, that
was-
was Saturday morning cartoon. How the hell that happened?
That was.
Amazing.
Sean, keep going, brother. What's your favorite podcast or geek channel?
It's gonna go again. I think I picked it last time too, but the Game Chasers YouTube channel is still like just one of my favorites. They started off hunting down just retro video games. Film themselves, find them out in like flea market stuff, and they've since moved on to collecting toys, books, and just being informative and cracking up every time. So
I in the new position that I have at work, I don't have a lot of time to listen to podcasts because I was listening to like 4 or 5 podcasts, but now I actually have a phone shift and have to talk to taxpayers and stuff.
he has to actually work now.
Yeah, bummer. So the one that I have consistently kept up with is the same one that I had last year, and it's the Adventure Zone. They've continued with their Amnesty arc. It's actually in the final season. And it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, the guys have really done a lot with this arc, and I look forward to seeing what they do now.
Mine is Rule of Two, which is a Star Wars podcast on Collider Video, which is a YouTube channel. It's just a couple of guys sitting around talking Star Wars.
Very cool.
Nice.
So this will surprise exactly 0 people who know me, who have listened to the show before.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess.
Okay, is it 11 o'clock comics?
It is. It is.
Very good.
That's what he picked last year.
It is universal. Like, yeah. It
Yeah,
stands
no,
test
those
time.
guys are awesome.
They have taken me under their wings, so to speak. The podcast or some of the. It's continually some of the best conversation about comics, whether they're written today or written 100 years ago. Vince is like, if there's anything you need to know about pulp, he's got it. DAP, if there's anything really you need to know about DC, that dude is a wealth of knowledge. And man, Jason, just like you never know what kind of curveball he's going to throw you. He's one of the his mind is sharp as a tack. It's just great, dude. Those guys constantly kill it, and they have joined our podcast page. They have joined our podcast page. They join in. They've really been good to us as far as even helping us spread the word about our podcast. So I can't help but send some love over to those guys.
Right on.
They are getting some competition though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know as far as like the room in my heart, but Comics Kayfabe is a new channel that's got Ed Piskor, Jim Rugg. Every once in a while they have Tom Scioli on it. They're a good one.
That Southern Pride Geekery channel is pretty good.
You goddamn right.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody in the audience to like shout that out, but they're stuffing
Instead,
their
we
face
got
with
Star
pizza.
Wars junk dealers.
Since everyone's throwing out two choices randomly, I'm gonna throw out also good runner up though. I've been really enjoying lately is comic book tropes.
Okay,
I want to give a shout out for that channel. Check it out.
Matt.
Hey,
Don't
Matt,
look
how-
at me.
Matt, how do you feel about people picking two of these things?
It's not written down. I just threw it
But
out.
hey,
the
look,
great
this
thing is the next stuff we get to pick two.
Yeah, well, it's and this is it's
So
the
you'll pick
middle.
three?
It's the middle of the year, right? So we have to by the end of the year we'll have to narrow everything
Yeah.
down to one. So there's nothing wrong with expanding our palette.
Yeah, Matt.
So
I
to
guess.
Are there any good Conan podcasts?
Not that I have found. I found podcasts with good Conan content,
Yeah,
but as far as exclusively Conan, no.
we should work on that.
Make a Conan podcast, you cowards.
We're gonna play that clip back to you at the end of the year.
You won't be here.
Damn it! Got him.
That sound you just heard was Jerry falling to the floor.
I didn't actually. It was
No, he didn't. He's alive.
no. Well, I mean, falling to the floor wouldn't kill me, Caleb.
Depends on how far you fall. The floor is always going to be there, no matter how high you get dropped from.
I just pictured Jerry crumbling to a pile of clothes like Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All right. You want to talk about some...
Caleb can have my underwear.
Yes, he can.
I've already got some of them.
No,
I mean, anyway, let's talk about comics. You guys want to talk about some comics?
Yeah, let's
I
do
guess.
this.
That
might as
roar,
well. We've talked about everything else.
the roar you hear is the crowd getting knighted. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Totally not us.
Take it off.
Let's talk about favorite ongoing comic.
Craig, put your shirt back on. Please.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of stuff that are maxi series and mini series are all the rage these days. But to get a good ongoing comic that goes past 12 issues, especially with the same creative team, says a lot. Especially these days when, like I said, they're shortening everything. So what is our favorite ongoing comic?
Okay, I want to interject.
Okay,
You got to have two answers because everyone's going to say Hulk. So what's the next one after Hulk?
Oh, I wasn't going to say Hulk.
Mine's not Hulk.
Well, we'll see.
everybody else.
Everyone else is probably Hulk.
We'll
There are no excuses.
We'll start with the two that we definitely know have different answers. What is your favorite ongoing Jerry?
My favorite ongoing Jerry is actually myself.
I prefer Rick and Morty.
That's a true Jerry Smith.
No, it's actually, and this isn't going to surprise anybody, Gideon Falls.
Okay.
I've been consistently loving it. It's always been at the top of
That
my stack
actually surprises me
every single time.
from you.
But I've got
That
it.
surprises me.
Well, because what you think that
Same
I
judge,
put,
same
I
judge.
probably put for another category.
Gotcha.
I tried not to double up on a
Well, I
lot.
put
fuck
the same
that.
title in my
Okay.
negative spot.
My shit's stacked up like
Yeah.
Legos.
Yeah.
You're not honest, sir. You're not honest.
So, favorite ongoing is easily Gideon Falls.
Now, because the store proprietor has changed the rules on us, do you have a runner up on that one?
A runner-up would probably be Venom.
Okay.
Yeah, which is probably what Craig was thinking. Is that what you were thinking?
No, it is what I
yeah,
was thinking.
yeah. But I'm gonna get into that later
Okay.
in a different category
Craig.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what your favorite ongoing comic is.
and why it's Hulk.
It's Immortal Hulk because it's the best book on the shelf
You
right now.
goddamn right.
Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. Yeah, they're killing it on that book. So I didn't put all the information next to them because I had this further down and I
Yeah.
figured we'd already talked about all their names and everything
Yeah.
by then. But yeah,
I like to
Totally
keep you
the
on your
best.
toes.
totally the best ongoing series right now, and you should be reading it if you're not.
Do you have a runner up?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
Runner up.
Very good.
It was Savage Sword till the last one when it became an advertisement for a card game.
Valid point.
I mean, do you like Die? Because that's technically an advertisement for D&D.
It's different.
It's different.
Did you read Conan?
No.
We're talking
It
about
was-
Conan
yeah.
right now.
Sean,
Yeah.
zigging over to you, brother.
I'm gonna go with Teen Titans.
Okay.
That's ever since the launch of the new team, it's quickly become one of my favorite books. I've absolutely enjoyed it. If I had to pick a runner-up, I'm gonna go with specifically the current Wano arc of One Piece. That's just been amazing.
I'm surprised. Actually, yeah, I'm surprised Jerry didn't pick One Piece on there. That's.
You can leave your own store, sir.
I actually didn't pick One Piece or My Hero Academia for
Yeah,
any
you
of these.
didn't.
That's
surprising.
Yeah, because we're talking about comics as well.
Well, hey, now I will say, like, in defense of that,
Sir.
I do consider manga is comics. It's just comics under a different name. It's all sequential art. Even though I don't read a whole lot of it, I will stand on that hill.
I mostly wanted to break it up because I used a lot of those for last year.
Gotcha. Matt.
Well, my answer is almost the same as Craig's. Immortal Hulk obviously is the best ongoing series right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the best. Obviously.
Obviously.
So
Notice
Controversial
he didn't say
opinion.
it's been my favorite or anything. He said that it's the best. He made a
Yeah.
claim there that
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
the greatest comic
yeah.
of all
Well, I
time
mean,
right
yeah,
now.
the sky's blue. I mean,
Unfortunately,
Jesus Christ.
He's not wrong.
Sky's blue, Hulk's green.
Yeah,
when he's
yeah.
not gray.
So if I have to pick a number two, it'd be Jason Aaron's Conan the Barbarian. I consider that an ongoing. I don't consider
That's a good-
Savage an ongoing because, it's a collection of short arcs by different
Right.
teams.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I look at the series. I don't think that's a
What
technical
series is that
definition.
again?
What's that?
What series is that?
Conan
Conan.
the Barbarian.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
what I figured. Yeah.
No, the
Moving
correct
on.
answer
I
is
would
I never
assume-
heard of her.
Next.
He meant Detective Conan.
She sounds hideous.
Conan O'Brien.
So I mean, this is just kind of beating a really good horse. Immortal Hulk is solidly my favorite ongoing
Why would you
series on
beat
the
a good
show.
horse?
Well, because I don't want it to die.
But
There's no logic here. I'm drinking Hogard.
I don't
man.
play Red Dead. I don't know any of this.
Immortal Hulk's been it's going to be hard for me. You guys know I love the Hulk. He is if I'm listing, it doesn't matter if I'm listing top Marvel or top just characters in general. Bruce Banner / the Hulk is always going to be number one on my list. He's my guy. I love it. So when the Hulk is just good, I'm going to, I can't help but just shill for it. I'm going to say it's great. This is legitimately great. This is a great run. I'm sitting here looking around Kapow Comics trying to figure out what a runner-up,
It's Conan the Barbarian.
what I would say. Well,
Ooh, I don't like that well.
as much as I love Conan,
pick something DC. You've made
I
us
would.
read
Well,
like
no,
DC comics.
Freedom. I was going to say Freedom Fighters by DC is.
It's not ongoing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Is it
ongoing?
ending?
No, it's a 12
Well,
issue.
yeah,
Is
it's
it-
a maxi,
maxi
series.
series.
Well, fuck me running. Green Lantern. I'll go with Green Lantern. It should be an ongoing.
Green
is-
Lantern
it,
is
should,
an ongoing.
it should be. I'm pretty sure.
It's
Like
like,
80%.
I'm throwing darts at the wall.
Right.
This was the problem with them not letting us know what stuff is.
To quote Craig, though, y'all are all wrong besides Hulk.
Okay.
Daredevil.
Daredevil's on my list. We'll get to it later.
No, that's the wrong answer.
Daredevil has been Zardowski'd for me. I thought it was going to be excellent. Chip Zdarsky is somebody who before this year, whenever I saw his name, I just kind of rolled my eyes a little bit. But he got serious for a little bit and decided to write some serious books, like Daredevil. He's writing Invaders is really good. He's done some miniseries for Marvel, and the Invaders has been incredible. But Daredevil, he's had at least 2 issues out of 7 that have just been really, really heavy in the Chip Zdarsky I want to be funny but I'm not category. For me, and that's just me not digging. But I love Green Lantern, and for me to love a book by Morrison is saying something, because he's not I'm not a Morrison guy, but he's crushing it on the Green Lantern, and part of that's Liam Sharp. But it's a good
You
book.
hold your tongue. Dalton's wedding speech was written by Grant Morrison, sir.
It was inspired at least, and I had to stand there in front of everybody because we have a friend. Everybody, I'm going to explain to the audience. We have a friend named Dalton who used to work at Kapow actually. That got married and had a very Morrison-esque nihilist love story speech. And I was his officiant at his
none
wedding.
Of this matters.
Yeah, your dress is beautiful, but it doesn't matter. We're all going to burn in the sun. By the way, I love you. Thanks for marrying me. That was Dalton's vows. It was great.
So
Jesus,
sad
I'm
I
tearing
missed
up
it.
over here.
Yeah.
It was
heartfelt.
Craig and I had a great Airbnb you could have stayed at too.
I'm
Jeez.
so sad
It
I
even
missed
came with
it.
a free pipe.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, moving on.
Let's talk about what has been our favorite manga. Well,
Yes,
it's its
let's-
own category.
Let's talk about our favorite manga.
Let's do this. I want to go first because y'all know I'm a
Yeah.
big manga fan, right?
Yes.
Huge.
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 Um,
You're huge.
I downloaded the Shonen Jump app this past year, and I don't read it nearly as much as I should, but I don't feel bad about it because it's only at $2, right?
Right.
So even though I don't read it as much as I should, I'm not missing out on that money.
It's stroking your mic.
Wow.
Too many my card lemonades.
Who are you making eye contact with in the audience? I don't want to know.
Time cut.
You're not going to mess up his Saturday.
Vampirella.
I found this series. It's not a new series. It's not been going on for a while, but it's called Food Wars, and it is the story of this younger this guy who goes into kind of like this culinary academy. He was raised in a neighborhood kitchen with his dad. His dad's got a lot of secrets. His dad's not who he thinks he is, and not who he appears to be to anybody else. But he wants to be a chef just like his dad. So he kind of goes into this renowned and like the Harvard of food schools, so to speak. And it's just a fun little adventure. It's good times.
Oh, you're talking about the sex food series.
Yes. Yeah, there are some
The
very attractive people who cook with no clothes on in that book.
And the
or
food is so
bikinis.
good, it'll rip your clothes
Just you want to see orgasms, like food induced orgasms,
Food gasms.
just
I saw
drawn very
that.
well.
That
It
was
is in
phenomenal.
that book.
That's a great series.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Sounds like Chew to me.
See, I've only read the first volume of that. I need to
Oh, it's so changed.
yeah,
You need to fix that.
I do. It's on my list.
Has to be One Piece.
Okay.
Fuck you, man. What's yours, man?
The Edo Cat.
The Edo Cat.
Yeah, whatever,
It came out like 2 years ago, bro.
Nope. Well, they're on the shelf for the first time in 2019. So,
But yeah, One Piece is still, as I mentioned with my runner-up about the Wano arc,
Yeah.
it's just been a phenomenal love story to feudal Japan, samurai movies. It has to be One Piece.
I was
Nice.
mostly saying that because the character they introduced last issue.
Maybe. It definitely didn't hurt that ranking.
I'm honestly surprised because you actually introduced me to a new series that came out this year that I fucking love, and that's Tokyo Shinobi Squad.
Oh,
and
it's good, but yeah.
It's, I mean, honestly, it's got like all the makings. Like, okay, Chainsaw Man came out, and it's just kind of been a meh. Hellward and Haguma came out,
You
and
get
I was
one.
so, and I was and I was so crazy about that.
Yeah,
but
you
then it
dropped
just
off
kinda
some, yeah.
Well, no, it ended.
Oh.
Yeah, it just kind of ended. So,
How many manga we gonna have to listen to here, Jerry?
Tokyo Shinobi Squad with Yuki Tanaka and Kento Matsura. It's been fantastic. The characters are really interesting. The whole world that they've created with these like sky trams that
Right.
go to every country has created some very interesting stuff. There's a lot of cultures and everything that are blending in the series.
Oh, it's fantastic series.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting abilities and everything that they're introducing into it. So it's always been like the first manga that I read
Nice.
every week. So it's been very enjoyable.
Craig, what's your favorite manga, man?
So, because I believe this one was actually published in 2017, but it was released for the first time in America this year in book form, is Junji Ito's Frankenstein.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Very good.
Spoilers for tomorrow. We're going to talk about it more, but I actually won an Eisner last night, so
Nice.
applause all around for that.
I believe it was first on the. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it reached American
I believe it
shelves
was
this
this
year.
year. Yeah.
So.
Matt, I have never actually heard you talk about reading a manga, so I'm curious about this.
Yeah, that's because I have not ever read a manga. I have limited funds, and I divert those to United States of America-based creators, and I will not apologize for my patriotism.
He is not wearing a manga hat.
No,
right now.
Matt's solidly on the
But
make
just so y'all know, I brought him a manga to read today, so
Very cool.
hoping to correct
I'm
that.
going to dip a toe in, kids.
You got to get your start somewhere.
It's a little chilly at first.
Look, before I
You'll warm up.
started this podcast, I'd never read a manga. Never read a manga at all, and that hurt. But now I occasionally do. So, and hopefully you'll reach the same conclusion I did, that it's just the formatting. It's just comics.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I gave him Goblin Slayer, so I'm throwing him head first into the
There you
into
go.
the pool.
So let's talk. So we went through ongoings earlier. Let's talk about our favorite miniseries, or even just a one shot. I think would fit in this category. What's Craig? What's been your favorite miniseries or one shot comic so far this year?
I had a real tough time with this year. A lot of the miniseries have been fairly mediocre. And I went from one that I have been enjoying, but it's not that creator's best work. So I went ahead and went with War of the Realms, Marvel with Jason Aaron and Russell Donnerman. And I picked that specifically because Thor gets his fucking hammer back. So
Good enough, Reed?
Well, mine's pretty obvious. Assassination.
Okay.
Kyle Starks and Erica Henderson. It just wrapped up. It was kick ass.
Nice. And you made it in that book too.
I did
He
twice.
At least twice.
I
yeah.
should have been 3, but I was
So-
late.
You all sitting out there in the audience, when you're reading comics, you go to those the back of the books, and you see the letters columns. My brother here was actually in Assassination not once but twice, and would have been thrice, but timing.
Thank you. I'm just a regular person.
He is signing at the table afterwards.
He was
So,
not wearing an American flag to show his patriotism when he did that. So
Sean, what has been your favorite miniseries or one shot?
Yeah, mine was kind of tough too, just because a lot of the miniseries I'm reading are still kind of going on. And I kind of wanted to judge it by what's ended. And the one I picked, they called it Season 1, so I don't know if it's technically a miniseries or not, but it's Naomi.
Okay.
Because they said it's like, as far as I know, it's only going 6 issues, and it's going to start a second season. I don't know if that's going to count as a miniseries, but Naomi was I really enjoyed her self-discovery story arc that they did with it, and the reveal to the end. So yeah.
I'll go next. So mine was Bully Wars, for a variety of reasons. Aaron Conley was on the art duties with that. Scotty Young wrote it. It was a really fun, and it wrapped up already. It's a really fun little, I think, 6-issue mini. Kids getting bullied in school. They get up to junior high, and he's like, "Oh, this is finally over." And then they realize that there's a whole like older set of bullies. It's I don't know if it's actually rated all ages, but it's very much an all ages book. You can give this book to anybody. There's
Scotty Young, right?
Yeah, man. It's written to the point that if you're an older guy or girl or gender nonconforming person, you're gonna love this book. It's a lot of fun. But if you're a kid reading it, there's plenty of fart jokes. There's plenty of stuff that you're gonna relate to. It's kind of dumb fun, man. And there's these things like the bully wars or the contest. It's like the contest of champions for bullies. It was a super fun series, and I want more books like that I can find enjoyment in, and I can also give it to kids.
Yeah,
And that's the way Scotty Young is the best at this right now. So if you're not reading Scotty Young stuff, you got to. But he writes these stories that are fun for grown-ups and they're fun for kids and everybody. And there's another one that is not over yet, but it's Martian Manhunter, and I'll talk more about it later. But it's going to be a mini series or a maxi series. We'll see how it goes.
It was a maxi. You only put mini and one shot on here, sir. Sorry, you can't pick one.
Make the rule, break the rule. That's all right. I support you, Ken.
You wrote this list, so you can edit it.
I wrote it drunk. I'm reading it drunk. Leave me alone.
He's even flipped around the order. We're all
I'm
screwy
not.
here.
I'm not talking about Martian Manhunter. I'm just saying it made the short list. Fuck! What do you want from me? I want. You know what I want from you, Jerry?
Yes.
I want to know what miniseries
You know
or
what
one
he
shot
wants from Jerry.
you really like this year.
Talked about it several times. It is Sparrowhawk
Okay.
from Boom Studios by Delilah Dawson and Matthias Bosla. Just a
Matthias.
fantastic. What?
Mateus.
Matthias?
Don't get me wrong.
Matthias.
If you have a problem with the way Jerry just said your name, feel free to come to the show and fight us about it.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, it was just a fantastic little kind of fairy tale-esque story of a girl getting whisked away into a fairy world and, kind of almost coming to age thing, but it had kind of a twisted ending, which was pretty
I
interesting.
actually forgot about that book, or it would have been
Really?
online.
Yeah. It was fantastic. It was definitely top of my pile. And yeah, it was great. I absolutely loved it. And honestly, it had a teen rating, but I would put it in all ages. honestly.
Okay.
Other
Yeah.
than the violence, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I see, and I struggled with what my all ages was,
Mhm.
getting ahead of myself. Just because
No, that's at the end of the episode.
all ages, like some all ages books that I read last year had violence in it, and so where the blurred lines are of
Right.
all ages and teen is somewhat, you know,
That might be a good listener question someday.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
yeah.
All right, was that
but yeah,
everyone?
Yes.
Counting is hard. What has been what's been your favorite superhero comic? Like that's kind of a broad topic, right? Jerry, you kicked this one off. You went last.
Yeah, no, I'm going to kick it off because I raised my hand, and I was really excited to talk about it. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, favorite superhero comic, and it's not because of mostly the superheroics that Spider-Man does, because we've seen a lot of that in the comics, but this series really kind of takes the people that he affects and really kind of puts a focus on them, and it's fantastic how they do it. It's been a phenomenal series. I've actually probably would have put it down as a one shot for number 6 that they did with the kid that he spent the day as Spider-Man being.
Oh God, I remember.
Yeah,
that one.
it's
Yeah.
You guys thought I was going to bring you up with that issue, and I just
Man.
but
I knew.
yeah, it's been a fantastic series. It's always been one of the series that's been top of my list for sure. I love Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man right now. It's my go-to Spider-Man series.
Nice. Matt, what's been your favorite superhero comic?
This made me stop and realize that I'm not buying a lot of actual superhero comics. But the one that I look
Are they
for-
not violent enough for you?
What's your favorite super vigigante comic? What's your favorite super anti-hero comic?
Super Evangel. See, well, that's not the category we're on, fella.
What's your favorite super sword and sorcery hero?
So
comic?
the topic is superhero comics. So the one I look forward to the most is actually Captain America.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patriotic as fuck, I see.
Yeah, never ever thought I would say that in my life, that I look forward to a Captain America comic as much as I do.
What sets this one apart?
It's just a compelling story. I mean, they're not doing anything radical. It's just written very well. I mean, essential, and it's just your basic hard. Captain America is portrayed as basically he's a hard ass, but his humanity. He's got the humanity of Superman, but he's just much more of a hard ass, I guess is what you would say. And it's just compelling to me. He's surrounded by bad people and how he handles those people.
Ta-Nehisi Coates is a smart writer.
Killing
a
it, man.
Smart writer.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, number one, the man is literally a member of Mensa. Like, he is an actual functioning genius. He's one of the leading people as far as, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Racial ideology and understanding how race works in America. Nah, man, I like reading this past issue. The stuff spilling out of it that connects to what Nick Spencer did is killer.
Yeah. Of course, Adam Kubert and Frank Martin is the art team. Yeah, it's a great book. I'm amazing myself that I'm saying that.
Mine has been a superhero that I have not read a whole lot of, that I've, like, up until now I've never had it on my pull list, and it's Green Lantern.
Nice.
Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. Liam Sharp is producing some of the most just drool-inducing art out of DC. There's only one other book that has art that I find to be as aesthetically intricate as that. I think is a good way to say it.
It's good words.
Mine. Yeah, Green Lantern is just blowing out. Like, it's just insane. I love it.
Yeah, I wrestled with that one.
Yeah,
Going between that and Captain America.
Did it pin you?
Nice.
It did not.
It did not get the 3 count.
I got that shit.
Craig.
I went with Daredevil with Marvel, of course, Chip
Okay.
Zdarsky and Marco Chicchetto.
Chichetto.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Chichetto, if you have a problem with the way Craig said your name, feel free to come on the show and fight us about it.
It's an Italian name. I'm sorry.
No, well, now I
We
feel
will
bad.
pay your airfare to come all the way.
Now I feel bad for shitting on it a while ago.
Yeah, it's a really good book.
Yeah.
I haven't seen what you were talking about Zdarsky making jokes and stuff in it. If anything, the last issue was kind of slow, but I haven't read this week's yet. But I think they're starting to pick back up. They're going to finish up this arc with Daredevil kind of giving up being Daredevil, but I think he's going to, based on what happened to War of the Realms, I think he's fixing to have some new powers.
All
So
right.
I'm
Craig's right.
What you got, Sean?
My favorite superhero comic is, no surprise to anyone who's listening to the show, is still My Hero Academia.
Okay.
It has continued to expand upon its enormous cast, and this recent arc has done even more so. So, still one of my favorite superhero books out there.
All right, this next category I'm really, really excited about.
Ooh.
Sword and sorcery. This is kind of my, as far as storytelling, it's a little bit of my bread and butter. We will kick things off with my brother Craig over here. Craig, what has been your favorite sword and sorcery comic so far in the year of 2019?
There is a whole lot of really good sword and sorcery books right now,
There really is.
but I went with Conan the Barbarian, Jason Aaron, and Esad Ribic, and Muhammad Asir.
You're supposed to lock the door. You were supposed to be on the other side.
Matt, what's your favorite sword and sorcery? Let's go ahead and get this knocked.
Oh,
out
are you
here.
taking over now?
Jerry, put on the big boy shoes.
My job here is done.
Mine. So this said comic, so I picked standalone issue.
Okay.
That's how because this is a tough one. So looking at this as a standalone issue, I picked Savage Sword of Conan #1.
Okay. Very cool. What was it about that issue that really blew up for you?
He rips a man's finger off and uses it to pick a lock.
Yeah, it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, he does.
That's
Sorry,
good reason.
kids. I don't know what else you're looking for.
Favorite sword and sorcery comic series? Does that change at all?
Favorite series, right? If you'd have asked me a month ago, it would have been different. But now it's Conan the Barbarian by the Jason Aaron and Company team.
Shake my tail feathers.
Okay, Caleb, let's go ahead and.
No, I want to go with you next.
No, go ahead, Caleb.
Sean, go.
Mom and Dad are fighting again. Mine, technically, I think these did get published last year, but I didn't start reading them this year, so I'm cheating a little bit. That is Goblin Slayer
Okay.
manga. It is this dark fantasy series that I've enjoyed from top to bottom. Rat Queen's almost made it, but it's that new team. I'm giving them a few more issues.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. So I'll give it to Goblin Slayer.
Mine's Conan the Barbarian.
Say what?
Surprising exactly 0 people. It's been solidly good. I love that Jason Aaron is telling 2 stories. Well, I say 2 stories. He's telling one overarching story and then filling in each issue with a point in time in Conan's life. And for a person like me who, I've loved that character for so long. I've read a shit ton of Howard. Just reading through it, and the different stages of his life. He's putting that in there from when he's when he's a king, or when he's a pauper, when he's a pirate, or when he's just a thief. He's paying homage to this legacy, and still telling an overarching story, and that is amazing. And I can't get enough of Mahmoud. Mahmoud Asrar is just
Mahmoud. Sorry.
yeah. Oh no, you're good. He's just the dude. Like his art, it just makes me smile. So
Hell yeah.
I really struggled with this answer because I'm reading so much sword and sorcery, and apparently not Conan, or else I guess that would have been my pick. But my sword and sorcery was Die.
yeah, it's a good one.
Die has been phenomenal.
It's really good. Made my short list.
It's essentially, if you've ever heard Sean and I talk about isekai, with people in a normal world getting put into like a video game or fantasy world, that's essentially what it is. And it's basically a D&D game. All of the classes, though, that everyone is very unique and very interesting. And it's been such a good series, and it's illustrated well.
Favorite class is the Sorrow Barbarian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It has to cry before he can become
Yeah.
strong.
They call it a
Yes.
grief night.
Yeah,
Grief
It's a
night,
grief
yeah.
night.
Yeah,
book,
where he has to feel any kind of grief, but he gets like immense power and ability from it. It's been fantastic.
That's a book I regret not jumping on. We all did. I think we roundtabled the first issue.
Well,
I never jumped on. I'm going to get it in trade.
Oh yeah. The first trade paperback should be out, and then they haven't started the second arc yet. So
Yeah, I'm going to have to get on that book.
Highly recommend it.
just because I can see Vampirella and Tom Cop over here wondering. By the way, for those of you who are listening at home, we have stand-up cardboard cutouts of Vampirella and Tom Cop in our audience, and they are looking as like they're saying. You said round table. What do you mean round table? and some of the people in the audience might be wondering too, on a regular episode, we always, no matter what, we roundtable a comic. So we pick a book, all 5 of us, or if we're all on the show, we all read it, we give a synopsis of it, and we give our thoughts. So that's what any episode you listen to. If this is your first listening at home, we usually roundtable a comic, and that's what they mean by that. Sorry for the brief interjection in the podcast promo.
He meant synopsis, not snops. But schnapps are good as well.
I hate you so much. You get 140 of Mike's Hard Lemonade in the guy, and all of a sudden he's a goddamn gangster talking shit.
I believe he had some fancy margaritas too before we got here.
3-man podcast.
3? All right, we can both go.
So here's a category that has gained some prominence this past year. What's your favorite horror comic? So the thing that puts the heebie-jeebies. Craig said he would go.
Immortal Hulk.
Goddamn right.
Here.
No, let's go ahead. Keep going.
No,
let's keep going down the line, Caleb.
Okay, fine. Mine was, I had to dig deep on this one and wasn't really sure about it, but I went with Immortal Hulk. Best horror book on the shelf right now. They're like legitimately terrifying.
That's the only answer.
Yep.
Well, maybe you guys missed out when Caleb made us read a little Frank Miller book called Superman Year One. Because what he did to that was very horrific.
You're not wrong.
You can't argue with that.
Oh, I will.
No, I picked for real though, I picked Getting Balls.
Okay. Nice. It was my favorite horror book of last year.
Fantastic. Creepy.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and I realized that I actually am not reading as much as I'm collecting. I haven't been up to date on as much horror stuff because, Cullen Bunn's been coming out with great stuff. I just read what was it, Unearthed?
Yes.
Was that the new one?
Yep.
Yeah, and that
Kyle
was freaky
Stram.
as fuck. But they came out in July, and it's the 7th month, so it can't be in the halftime.
Yeah, it's only
right?
one issue out.
Yeah. So,
what you got, Sean? You love horror. This is kind of your bread and butter.
Which is sad. I don't read a lot of horror. I watch horror movies, but with no surprise to anyone if you listen to my other picks, Junji Ito's Smashed.
Okay.
He is the master of the short story horror book, and that one was amazing.
Now, see, and the reason why I struggled with this is I kind of came to this thing here the other night whenever I was going through all my stuff and getting caught up in a lot of stuff. Is like, for me, I don't like. I'm starting to get the feeling that I'm not really into horror comics because I don't feel like it translates as well as movies.
Like
hard to
it
build
just,
suspense.
You're not reading the right ones.
I mean, that may very
Try
well be a
Immortal Hulk,
factor.
sir.
Which Immortal Hulk, if I'd been on Immortal Hulk from the jump, I may have been a part of the hive mind because it has been fantastic.
Yeah.
but I'm kind of new to
the
that
hive
one.
mind.
I might. We're all wearing the same shirt. bro.
No, it's pronounced the right mind.
But just if we're talking about I'm a big horror movie buff, and it doesn't usually, it doesn't translate as well to me in comics, but there are a few standouts, and I probably need to get some recommendations from Caleb. He reads a lot more than I do.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Immortal Hulk?
Yes.
I'm on that one. I might need more.
There's been some there's been some amazing horror series. I mean, just throughout history. I mean, some of the stuff that inspired Stanley Kubrick came out before the Comics Code Authority. For those of you who are old enough to remember what that was, before it killed horror comics.
Horror comics.
Your eerie. Your eerie, your spooky, those magazine stuff. There's some incredibly, just legitimately disturbing stuff.
EC comics?
A lot of the EC comics.
That's what it was. Yeah.
There needs to be more anthologies of that stuff that are put out. So science fiction's a fun genre, and it's kind of a wide arcing genre, so to speak. My favorite science fiction comic is one that I struggle with because I didn't know if it actually fit the category, but I think it has enough of the elements that it does, and that's Black Hammer 45 by Jeff Lemire and Matt Kent. And I say it does because in the book, essentially what you're doing is you're telling a story about the Tuskegee Airmen. You're telling a story about the Cold War, but you're also using mech warriors. There's giant robots made by Russia. There's invisible spy plane people. So to me that really slid into that sci-fi slot to where not a lot of Black Hammer stuff does, and that one really hammered it home to me. Especially Matt Kent's art is
It really Black Hammered it.
Is that what you've been waiting to say this whole time?
No, I was actually going to say that is actually on my list.
If that's the case,
too.
put your hand back down.
No.
Do you write your own material?
Jerry, go ahead, man. What's
No,
your favorite?
Mike's hard.
No,
lemonade,
it was actually Mike's
Harder.
harder lemonade. Actually, and I think they went harder on the lemonade than they did the actual alcohol on this.
I don't believe that's true.
Anyway, no.
Welcome to Southern Fried Drinkery.
I put Black Science in it as well.
Okay.
Because they've dealt with like kind of VR experiences. They've dealt with like space adventures. They've dealt with alternate futures. Like
Black Science?
No, did I say Black Science?
Yes, you did.
Black Hammer. Sorry.
Oh. Harder lemonade, y'all.
Harder lemonade.
Anyway, Black Science. That's what I meant.
Black Hammer?
Did I say Black Science again?
You said twice.
Whoa!
You can only pick one, Jerry.
Go stand by Vampirella.
Black Hammer.
There you go. 45? Or
No. No, just as
the main
a
title?
genre.
Okay.
Yeah,
As a genre.
Quantum Age, just everything that they've put out has been super science fiction.
It
But
is.
it's not a genre.
Huh?
It's not a
Switch to
genre.
water, would you?
Sorry. Sherlock Frankenstein.
Yeah. Sherlock Frankenstein does definitely.
Fantastic.
This is how he's going to pick like 20 books for this category.
How many has he named so far?
Black
It's all-
Science. For one.
Listen, listen. It's all Black Hammer, not Black Science. I'm not caught up in that. Sorry, Rick Remender.
All right.
But yeah.
Craig, follow that.
Matt's going to follow that.
Matt's going to follow it. Matt, follow that.
Outer Darkness by Image Comics.
What?
Yep.
You
Because
picked
I'm,
Outer Darkness?
because
Yep.
I'm also picking Outer Darkness.
Yep.
Okay.
John Layman, Afu Chan. It's rocks.
Nice.
It's horror.
What's your second pick?
It's science fiction.
My second pick for science fiction. Oh man, that's tough. Gosh, I guess I'd have to pick Port of Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good book.
yeah, it is.
My second one would be Black Science by Rick Remender and Mateo Soler.
And he actually means Black Science.
That's getting ready to end, sadly.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know that it is.
I thought they
It-
announced its ending.
Maybe because the last book, it was acting like it was resetting everything was good and done, and then this book
They did
just
that
kind of blew up.
same thing in the issue before last of Walking Dead.
So, you're not wrong.
Sean,
Sean-
rescue us, dude.
From Jerry.
Well, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, and Saga has not returned yet. But Sonata has grabbed me
Okay.
really quickly with only 2 issues out. This is from David Hine and Gerard Van Dyke from Image Comics.
Nice.
Definitely check it out. It's only 2 issues in already.
What has so far this year been our favorite team or group comic? And now this doesn't have to. Mine does, but this doesn't necessarily have to fit into the realm of superheroes. There can be, team and groups or in all kind of genres. Craig, start us off on this one, man. What's been your favorite team or group?
Avengers,
Okay.
Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
It's Jason Aaron, and I think they've had a couple of different artists on it.
Well, Ed McGuinness kicked it off.
Yeah.
But I
would
think
credit
it's somebody
him.
else now, and I'm sorry I don't have that information. But yeah, that's who.
It's been a while since I've been really interested in a Avengers title. Yeah, but they've been killing it this one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jerry, what's yours, brother? What's your team?
It's actually Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
With Donny Cates. It's just been phenomenal. Like the group dynamic of it hasn't been as great because like Star-Lord's just been kind of like mopey. So Groot took over, but the team that they have, like the group of characters that they have put together, have been really interesting.
Nice.
And I'm really interested to see how it goes for the rest of the year.
Matt, what's your favorite group comic, man?
Mine is Avengers as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, and I typically do not read team or group books. They're just not my thing. There's most of them seem to not really dig into the individual characters enough for me to get into. But this one does. Yeah, Jason Aaron, seems like about every 3 issues, he'll go deep on a character.
Yeah.
And he does it so well. That keeps
That's
me
for sure.
It keeps me hooked.
absolutely.
I'm hooked on the way he writes characters more than the stories. That's for damn
Absolutely.
sure.
And I've actually really liked his the way he does Robbie Reyes more than any of the solo runs that they've done.
Well,
I agree.
how he writes She-Hulk is mine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's just firing on all cylinders. But Ed McGuinness has been the artist for the vast majority of the series.
I think it only
as well.
switched recently. Like the last new issue, I think, was the first.
It started getting choppy when War of the Realms, which is also being written by
Right.
Jason Aaron. They started switching up artists after that.
Right.
There was an issue here a while back that was kind of a standalone issue, but it was the gorilla. What's his name?
Gorilla Man.
Gorilla Man.
Yeah.
Really far. Yeah, reaching real far with this one. I almost said Professor Chimp, which is why I was like, oh no, that's definitely not that character. Sean, what's been your favorite, brother?
Well, actually, it's been Avengers. Jason Aaron is absolutely killing it on this book. I haven't given a shit about an Avengers book since I think the Ultimates started. And so he's hooked me in, and it's been amazing.
Nice.
I'm honestly really surprised that it's not Teen Titans.
Well, it's in another category.
I got you.
So,
2 of them, actually.
So mine is an Avengers book, but it's not the main one, and it's not one that's currently ongoing right now. And that's been West Coast Avengers. It ended, I want to say issue 11 is when it ended. It was a really fun team. They threw it's basically, it filled the hole in my heart that's there without a Young Avengers book. But Kelly Thompson is really a writer that just up and coming, is doing amazing stuff, and I think is going to go a lot of places. And that book, when I first started it, like the minute I saw the cover, I was like, oh, this is going to be bad. It's going to be a joke. It had characters like Gwenpool that I don't give a shit about. Right. Like all of these other characters that I was just like, I'm just not gonna. I'll read the first issue. I read the first issue and I'm like, this is like I don't know if I'm just catching me on an off day. It's stunning. Ended up being an amazing series, and it breaks my heart that they ended it way too early. But yeah, so got to give it up to West Coast Avengers, man. As far as a teen book, that is how you write a young, dumb, fun teen book, man. And they had Jeff the Land Shark. You gotta love a land shark.
It was a great book,
especially when its name is Jeff.
And we're coming back around. So, favorite all ages comic. I'll start this one because I'm going to be repeating myself. It's Bully Wars by Scotty Young and Aaron Conley. For all the reasons I said earlier, just a fun book, man. Craig, what's yours, brother?
I went with Star Wars Adventures. It's by IDW, and it's got various creators on it. Every book is a different creative team. But just fun little independent stories, single stories, sometimes multiple stories in the same book, so it's just something a kid can pick up and read some Star Wars. It's been pretty fun. So
nice. Sean,
I don't. This category is always tough because I don't really read a lot of all ages books, but like one I feel can be read by a younger audience and still like maybe not necessarily kids, but young, older kids would be Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah.
While there is, like I said, a lot of Japanese dialogue and drinking alcohol and killing people, it's not exactly bloody or anything. So I think that's a book that can be enjoyed by everyone.
Okay, fair enough. What you got on this one, Matt? I know how much you love kids' books.
Yeah, so, as far as mine goes, all ages, as long as all those ages are teen or plus, then my book is...
I love how he's bending the rules now.
Then my book is Wonder Twins. DC Comics, Mark Russell, Stephen Byrne.
Okay.
I think that's an all ages book.
Even with the fully clothed orgy, everyone was angry about?
Teen plus.
Right.
I think they were more angry about the fact that Mark Russell was writing it, and they weren't. So, Jerry, what's been your favorite all ages book, man?
See, I kind of broke my rule from last year, and I was going to read more all ages books. Mm-hmm. But so far,
so really, you disappointed yourself.
What is new, right?
Pretty on brand.
It sounds just like self-gratification time.
But there was a book that came out last month, which was the 6th month of the year, which stacks up to our half-year thing.
It does.
Which I look forward to for the next 6 months of this year.
That's how half a year works, I do.
Well, most of the time.
You're good.
Oh, so you're doing the first half of the year.
So anyway...
I got to change at least like half of my answers
now. It is Kanto by IDW.
Okay.
Yeah, good one.
By David DeBoer and Drew Zucker. So far, they've got a pretty interesting, like Oz-esque fantasy story going on that I'm really interested to follow. Only one issue has come out, but I mean the art has been fantastic.
That book is getting a lot of recognition.
It is,
and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. It's been fantastic.
Phenomenal book.
If I had to mention one other than that had more than one issue, hey Matt, that is not an all ages book. That is not an all ages book.
So he's mentioning a second book that doesn't even fit in this category.
I would say Gogor. I feel like Gogor can easily be an all ages book.
Could be an all ages book.
Yeah, easily. Yeah,
and it could also be in
Yeah, people fail at parenting all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god!
So Black Science, right?
Black Science, Jerry. Hashtag Black Science.
I remember that book with the hillbilly in it.
Is that Eric Powell book that he also wrote Hillbilly?
This is not the same situation. Okay.
Yeah, this one we're drunk. So not all comics come out in single issues. Sometimes, well, I mean,
what?
Sometimes, yeah, I know. Right? Sometimes you get some really awesome collected editions, or sometimes you get things called original graphic novels, which are a lot bigger. Which are one technically it's a single issue, but it's one story. It's just a little bit bigger, but I feel like it deserves its own category, mainly because I made the list. So, what has been your favorite original graphic novel or collected edition so far this year, Matt?
Well, my favorite OGN was the Incredible Hulk one-shot by Peter David and Dale Keown.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a great...
It was big enough, I think.
Yeah, it counts.
That was a thick book.
Yeah,
it counts. Why don't you just put that on the list?
It counts.
We have no rules on
But
that.
hey, I was going to name this other book that doesn't fit into this category. Can I expand on that?
Yeah, go for it.
Black Science.
Is there any other podcast accepting applications from this? Sean, what's been your favorite OGN or collected edition so far?
It got mentioned in an earlier category, but it's got to be Smashed by Junji Ito.
Okay,
Again,
nice. Yep.
all the same reasons. Great horror.
Mine was Waves by Ingrid Shabert and Carol Morial, which was really powerful and moving story. I spoke about it on a previous episode. Yeah, go check that book out.
Leave it to Caleb to pick the highbrow OGN.
You want to talk about
man,
life experience, like you want to talk about the power of what comics can do.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the one where
I
they
wasn't
were
making
expecting
fun
me
of
to
you.
bring them up with Friendly Neighborhood
Yes,
Spider-Man,
right,
and I gave
right.
them the child with cancer issue.
Yes, that was that episode, and it really, I mean, when you mix what they're doing with sequential art, what they're doing with the story, and then what they do with the color with that book is
It was a great book.
Speaking
really
of books of that nature, we're getting a second volume of my favorite thing is Monsters this year.
I do. I cannot wait to have that in my hands. That was not one of this books, but I mean, if we're talking about OGNs, that's my favorite one of all time. So love that story. Craig, what has been your favorite OGN or collected edition so far this year?
This is a book that was actually published last year, but it didn't reach people's hands till very, very late in the year or early part of this year, so I decided to go ahead and put it on here. And it's After Houdini by Jeremy Holt and John Lucas, published by Insight Comics.
Nice.
A really, really fun look at, Houdini's son and this kind of cult that Houdini was in that, is doing some things and investigating some things. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a really fun book. And the actual sequel is called Before Houdini, and that's out now. I've actually ordered that and should be reading that for this year.
It's some of the best John Lucas has ever looked.
Yeah, for sure. And the story's phenomenal.
Oh, nice.
Jerry, favorite OGN or
graphic
collected?
novel. The hardcover from Mr. Miracle.
Okay.
Even though Tom King did 9 panels every goddamn page of that book, the extra material that they put in the back of it and the cover of it with Dark Side is Coming is it's amazing. If I had to pick a second, it'd be Vision.
Okay. That came out
the Vision hardcover
years ago.
The Vision hardcover that came out this fucking year with the fucking Mr. Miracle.
You didn't have to pick a second one.
Well, I did, Matt.
Well, Jerry, while you're talking, tell us what's been your favorite DC book this year? So DC puts out a fair amount of comics. They're number 2 as far as publishers go. What's been your favorite DC book?
Well, Caleb.
Caleb? Caleb?
You call him Kale?
my
Caleb?
Cable?
Cable?
Is it Cable?
This
Cable, right?
This episode brought to you by Coping Skills.
Caitlin has not
no,
killed
no,
anybody
but
yet, so-
my favorite DC book for this year has easily been Dial H by Sam Humphries, Joe Quinones, Sam Gibson.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily been the story that they've been putting into it, but the difference in art. Because, you know, if you don't know anything about Dial H, it's about a kid that finds a phone that every time he dials hero, he turns into a different hero that has never been seen or thought of before. And every
Is it
time...
hero or just H for hero?
H for hero, yeah, sorry. So every issue has a different art style and a different hero.
Is it
every
a
single
rotary
time.
phone
And
still?
it's been, yeah, it's actually still a rotary phone.
And how does a kid know how to use this? That's really the mystery of this.
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
Because
seriously.
comic books.
But it's
So
been
it's science
fantastic. If I had to pick a second one though,
No, we're moving on. Craig, what is your
Martian
favorite,
Manhunter.
what is your favorite ongoing? What is your favorite DC book? Just period.
Green Lantern.
It's a good one.
Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp for all the reasons you said earlier.
I'll go ahead and jump in and say I have the same answer.
Okay. Sean, what's yours?
Teen Titans, without a doubt, ever since they had the relaunch of this new team, has been my favorite DC book. With the additions of Crush and Roundhouse, it just made the team even better. So
Nice. I'm gonna change mine.
What was
fight,
it?
fight the hive mind.
Well,
was it?
no,
Was it Green Lantern?
it was it. So I had a hard time, and I like on my list I wrote down Green Lantern, but I did have a hard time with this one because I really, really, really do love Freedom Fighters. I think Freedom Fighters is an excellent book. The craft in that book, Vendetti is doing amazing things with these characters who aren't your mainstream characters. It's a different world than what we're used to. They're on Earth X, where the Nazis or the Razzies, however you want to say it, took over. Eddie Barrows, I believe, is still doing the art on that. Just the detail that he puts into every page, the heart that's in that book, and again, it's like an Elseworlds tale, and I don't normally go for that kind of book, but in this case, it really has grabbed me. And I don't know if that's where like just the mindset I'm in with what's going on in the real world, or just because it really is just a really compelling story. So I did have Green Lantern, but I'm glad that's represented here, and so because it is, I feel very safe and very confident in saying Freedom Fighters. And if you haven't read like the first trade's out, you should. I think we've got it here in stores. So afterwards, if you want to buy it, we can make that happen.
Come drive all the way to Kapow Comics.
No,
Buy
one
this
of the
book.
very many people here
In
is
the
who he's
vast-
talking to.
See, the vast audience that's out here.
But yeah, no, Freedom Fighters all the way.
Right.
And you and I are probably the only people that are reading Martian Manhunter at this point. Right?
Incorrect.
It's been fantastic.
It has. That's. Now it's time to move on to the House of Ideas.
You don't have space to talk about Martian Manhunter?
Not right now. Maybe we will later.
So, Marvel.
Oh, Jerry, that's not going right now. Sean, what's been your favorite Marvel book so far?
To the surprise of nobody, it'll be Avengers. Without a doubt, this book has made me care about characters I've never given a shit about. I'm sorry, Caleb. Namor. I'm sorry, Jerry. Ghost Rider.
Yep.
Like, Aaron is absolutely killing it on this book. And also, best She-Hulk ever.
I can't disagree with any of that. Mine's Immortal Hulk because
Mine's Immortal
it's
Hulk.
outstanding. It's truly it broke my heart last night when it didn't win an Eisner, but it is an outstanding book. I know, right? Hey, what was yours, Matt?
Mine was also Immortal Hulk.
Oh, shit.
This is the Hulk series I've been wanting for ever.
Yeah.
It's right on target for me.
Hey, Craig, say it one more time for the folks in the back.
Immortal Hulk.
There we go. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
It's Immortal Hulk, guys.
Yep.
If you're not reading Immortal Hulk, go buy the fucking book right now.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Apparently I need to change my answer to Immortal Hulk because it's the best fucking Marvel title.
I can't lie. Avengers is fantastic. If I had been on Hulk from the beginning, it would have been a tough fight. I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Mortal Hulk is amazing.
No, for me, it's definitely Venom. Donny Cates has done things with Eddie Brock, and like I haven't given a shit about Eddie Brock at all, like ever.
Forever.
Flash Thompson has
ever.
Flash Thompson is my Venom, right? And like the stuff that Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman has done in the Venom run currently with Eddie Brock has been phenomenal, and I've really been enjoying it. And just the fact that they're expanding on it in like other series, like Silver
Like
Surfer
every
Black
book
and,
that's
and
Donny
Ghost
Cates
Rider.
is writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he talked about him in Redneck the other day.
Probably.
Venom was in that as well.
So there are many publishers donning the show. Not all of them get a lot of love. Just as a whole, what have been your favorite publishers this year? I'll kick this one off. I keep spreadsheets of my pull list. I keep and I look at everything. I'm like, right, no, I'm meticulous like that. The publisher that I'm buying more books from than anything else, and that's not fair to say because they're also the publisher that produces more books than anybody else, is Marvel. I think, but I'm also enjoying more books like off the shelf from them, which I'm a Marvel kid, right? So that tracks. That makes sense.
For sure.
The other one is Ahoy Comics. Ahoy is doing, for a new publisher, they're doing some really, really cool things. The fact that they are producing different stories in each issue. So if you get it, like if you were to go to Ahoy and you were to pick up the June Brigman book about the cats in space, there's also going to be a prose comic or a prose story in the back of that. There's also going to be a mini comic in the back of that. They are giving you the most bang for your buck. And so when I spend $4 on a comic, it doesn't sound like a lot, right? But when I take 15 comics home a week, those $4 add up. So for Ahoy to take the effort and to willingly do something different, to give me access to creators, to give me essays, to just give me so much more than what any other comic does, that says a lot. And they don't lose your page count. Like, you're not sacrificing room in the book for these things. You're still getting a really, really great ongoing thing, and then you're splicing in these other things with it. So if you're not reading anything by Ahoy Comics, man, you got to get with that. You got to do it.
Nice.
Matt, what you got, bud?
My top two were Image and Marvel. Yeah, I'm actually buying a lot more. I'm buying more Marvel now than I have since I was a teenager.
Yeah,
it's really interesting because I walked away from Marvel for a long time with just a few exceptions, and was almost exclusively Image. But I mean, it's pretty neck and neck right now.
Yeah,
between those two.
Nice.
Jerry.
No, I completely agree. Everything at the top of my list here lately has been Image and Marvel.
Nice,
like 100%.
Great.
I have Aftershock as my first one because the titles like A Walk Through Hell, Animosity, Brothers Drackle, Dark Red, Mary Shelley, Monster Hunter, and the list goes on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
And then Marvel, Avengers, Immortal Hulk, Conan. I mean, there's just so many good books at Marvel right now. So that's my top two publishers right now.
Nice. Mine is number one is Image. They are just constantly bringing out new and interesting creator-owned comics on a regular basis with something new and damn near for anyone every month.
Yeah.
So you got to give them credit for the sheer variety. Number two is actually going to be a combo team of Shonen Jump in Japan and Viz, who publishes a lot of it here in America. Because even with powerhouses like One Piece and My Hero Academia, they're still pumping out new manga regularly. Just recently with Demon Slayer, The Last Sayuki, and Tokyo Shinobi Squad. So got to give it to them.
Nice. Get some manga some love. All right, now we're to the part of the show that I really love, because this is the part of the show where we talk about creators, people who are making the things that we've been listing that we love. And let's start with the colorists. Who have been our favorite colorists? Let's go top two on this one. Let's go top two comic colorists this year. And Craig, kick us off, brother.
I actually had this guy on my list before I read the Eisner winners. Matt Wilson for Paper Girls, Wicked and Divine, and Runaways. And then I had Stephanie Hans on there for Die.
Nice. Yeah.
So that both, all of those books are just beautifully colored. So
for me, it was number one is Lee Bermejo for Batman Damned, which was the same as last year because it took that long for 2 issues to come out. But you cannot deny the art on that.
Yeah.
And this last issue, again, beautiful artwork from him. Number two is actually Paul Mounts from Immortal Hulk. I said it's a book I only recently jumped on, but his use of colors with the dark imagery and shadow at night, because a lot of it's nighttime battles, and it's just been phenomenal.
Yeah,
so, gotta give it to him.
Jerry,
Daniel Warren Johnson, like for just for Murder Falcon, it's been fantastic.
We're colorists.
Colorists.
Yeah, not pencilers,
not artists. Gotcha.
I mean, I guess he colored that book as well.
Dave Stewart for Black Hammer and Gideon Falls.
Okay.
It's been
I mean, Dave
fantastic.
Stewart, man, you can't go wrong
Yeah,
with that.
yeah, no, he does a lot of great stuff. And I actually had the same as Craig, Stephanie Hans from Die. It's been fantastic.
Matt, what you got on colorists?
Colorist, Matt.
Is that what
not
we're
pencil.
talking about?
It is.
So we're talking about colorists.
Yes.
So
The
colorists.
colorist for Black
Okay.
Science.
So yeah. So Black Science, my favorite colorist. So my favorite colorists are Paul Mounts and Rob Guillory,
What do I know Rob Guillory from?
farmhand.
Yeah.
Chew.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see. Mine would be Alex Guillemets, and he's working on books like Bone Parish and Invaders, especially on Invaders. The man's coloring has done. He's coloring two different artists on that book, and so to take in the same book and to take two different artists and doing way two different styles and find a palette that fits both of them and the tone of the story, especially in a book that features Namor heavily when you've got so much going on under the water. He's working his ass off, and he's doing an incredible job. The other one, and I do not know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but it's Messiah, who is on a book called Isola. Some of the most vibrant colors that I have seen to date. Carl Kerschel is the artist on the book. The story doesn't do it for me. The story, like it's okay, but it's just an averagely okay story. But the visuals in that book just are knocking it out of the park.
Which is interesting because you're usually not into more of the digitally done stuff.
I normally like traditional.
Yeah, and I if correct me if I'm wrong, but Isola is
You're
all
wrong.
digital, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the colorists do a lot of work to embellish and to make the tone of the book work with the art, but no point in coloring it if you don't have any pencils, right? So let's talk about our favorite comics artists. And Matt, why don't you kick us off on this one, brother?
My top two are Joe Bennett from Immortal Hulk
Mm-hmm.
and Liam Sharp, Green Lantern. Both these guys are doing something very unique. Their particular amount of work they put in really brings something powerful to the story. The way that they're penciling, it adds something special to the atmosphere. It's not just how well they're telling a story sequentially. It's something unique that they actually bring to the story itself.
Yeah. Could not agree more. Sean, tell me your top favorite comic artists, pencilers, and such.
Number one is going to go again to Lee Bermejo for Batman Damned.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how you feel about where the story went,
Oh, it looked great.
I would frame up every single damn page that man has worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes for my second pick as well, is Mirka Andolfo for Unnatural, which I may not really have dug where the story has gone towards the end of it. It's beautiful art. And her being a part of that one issue of Harley Quinn was enough to make me buy a modern Harley Quinn book.
There you go.
That says a lot. Her art is absolutely gorgeous.
She's stunning work, man. I went with Jorge Corona as my number two, who's working on Middle West right now. That book is just look again, and it's written by Scotty Young. But so Scotty finds these guys who really they shine with his writing style, and Jorge Corona is one of those books. When you see it, you see the emotion. When you see his art, you see anger, you see love, you see compassion, you see hate, you see confusion, and for an artist to be able to really channel that emotive conscience and put it into a book says a lot. My number one, though, is Ian Bertram. And when I judge these books, I judge them off of who do I want to buy a page from the most. And right now, Ian Bertram, who's doing work on Little Bird from, I think, Image Comics, is by a long shot the artist who, when I see his work, I want to own that page. I want to see that page every day for the rest of my life framed on a wall. You know, he's a little bit of an acolyte of Jeff Darrow, but he puts his own spin on it. He's definitely not just a cookie cutter version of that. To me, it's some of the most stunning pencils I've seen this year. And that's saying a lot because there's been some tough competition. Craig, what you got for me, man?
Number one, I have Liam Sharp for Green Lantern. The amount of detail that he puts in this book is Bernie Wrightson-esque.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's Bernie Wrightson or anything, but it's absolutely beautiful, and the amount of background detail he puts in this book.
And it comes out on time.
Yeah.
every issue.
Always a
It's
plus.
amazing.
Pay attention, DC Comics.
Yeah. And the second one, I had somebody on here, but I'm actually changing it. I'm going to go with Matteo Scalera
Oh, yeah.
for
Yes.
Black Science because his art's just absolutely beautiful in that book.
Dude, Teo's a beast.
Yeah. So
Absolute beast. Jerry.
For me, I'm going Andrea Sorrentino.
Mhm.
Sorry, for Gideon Falls.
Yeah.
Like just the amount of amazingness that they put into that
Yeah.
book. Like every single time I read it, I'm just wondering like what they're gonna to do with the panels and like the art that's gonna impress me, and they never fail. Like every single time. Daniel Warren Johnson for Murder Falcon is definitely like top of my list. He's been fantastic. I mean, even outside of Murder Falcon, like just seeing like his sketches and everything else that he does.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and he'll do so much shit like even like anime
No, he
oriented.
loves things
Yeah,
like Gundam.
yeah, Gundam, One Piece. I've seen him do some fantastic stuff. So yeah, DWJ is top of the list.
Yep, I own a piece of art
Yeah.
by him. All right, last but certainly not least, the people who write them, people who make the stories that we know and love. Who are your top 2 comic writers so far at the halftime point of 2019? We're going to go to you, Sean.
Oh, man, all right.
Sound like a newscaster. Go to you, Sean.
I be the unprepared one. Oh shit.
Hot
Yeah,
is
number
my tie straight?
number one, it has to go to Jason Aaron for Avengers. Just like I said, as I mentioned in the other times, this comic has won my awards. Yeah, he's phenomenally writing this team and every character, making me care about characters I never gave a shit about before. So,
Yeah.
gotta give him mad kudos to him. Number 2 though would definitely be Koyoharu Gotoge. He is a writer and artist, but writer of Demon Slayer.
Mhm.
It's a recent Shonen Jump book that's could be honestly called a by the numbers Shonen style book, but the way he writes the pacing and likable characters, it makes it feel fresh and still interesting. So I got to give him credit for that.
Very good. Craig, who's been your favorite writer so far, man?
I'm going to go number 2 first. Jeff Lemire for Black Hammer, Ascender, Gideon Falls. I mean, just everything.
Just
he
wrote
wrote.
like the scroll.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
everything
unravel
he
it.
writes. Yeah, the dude's a beast, and everything he puts out is good. And then number 1, I'm going with Al Ewing because of Immortal Hulk.
Yes.
This year. He took a book that has not typically been a top seller at Marvel, at least not in a lot of years, and has
Decades.
made it their number 1 book.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, and it's the best book on the shelf right now. I know we keep kind of hammering that home.
I haven't heard that today. Really?
When you learn this lesson, kids, we'll move on to the next lesson.
And I've been reiterating, if I'd been on that book from the jump,
Yeah.
I probably would probably been more on my list, but it's damn good.
All right. So my number 2 is going to be Robert Venditti for his work on Freedom Fighters, which again, it's my favorite book at DC right now. Closely followed by Green Lantern, but also for the work he's done in Hawkman. He has taken one of the most muddled continuity in all of comics, not just DC, in all of comics, and he has found a way to weave a thread through it that doesn't cancel any of it out. There's no retconning here. There's nothing that's we're pretending it didn't happen. He's made a way for Hawkman continuity to all maintain its status and to work together, and that is a feat if you know anything about Hawkman continuity. And for that, no, go ahead, man.
I would like to see him do some Moon Knight. And
Yeah,
fix some of that continuity.
that would be a good place for him to go next.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt you.
you're that's okay because we already know my other one is none other than Al Ewing for the work he's doing on Immortal Hulk,
Which is what? The best book?
it is hands down my favorite thing of this year.
My favorite thing is the Incredible or the
Immortal
Hulk.
Hulk. Yeah, Jerry, we are talking our last one, man. Comic writers. Give me 2 this year that's really set it off for you.
Yeah, it's not going to be any surprise to anyone. It's Donny Cates for all of his work in Marvel Comics. Just the combined universe and everything that he's connecting in Silver Surfer Black, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Venom. It's been really great.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been the stuff that I've been looking forward to every month whenever I come back to his
Right.
stuff. And then of course Jeff Lemire, every time whenever I come back to his Black Hammer stuff, and just his expanded universe that he's been working on.
Yeah.
It's all been really well thought out and just fantastic.
It's definitely his magnum opus
Yeah.
for the comics world.
Absolutely.
Hey Matt, what's your favorite top 2 comic writers?
Hey,
so
thanks
far
for
this year?
asking. So number 2 for me is Mr. John Layman, mostly working on Outer Darkness right now. I look forward to that book simply because, I mean, his writing is definitely solid, but the number one reason I look forward to it is it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And the story takes unpredictable turns, and they're very creative. They're always compelling, but they fit within the context of the story. So that's, I look forward to what he has written. He's one of the, definitely number 2. The number 1 that I look forward to the most is Mr. Al Ewing. So,
For what?
Yeah, for Hulk. So,
Which is what?
Yeah, Mortal Hulk. Or just say a few times already. But, what I really, now the story itself being great, but what I also wanted to say is, it's difficult to create something this compelling out of a character that's been around for decades upon decades.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real challenge. And also, I think it's worth mentioning that this is the number 1 selling book right now. And Al Ewing had no hype behind his name whatsoever.
Yeah.
This is all because of what he has accomplished with this series, not because people are following him droves to another series like people do with so many established creators.
Yeah.
Well, and I would like to point out that he did something with this character without changing the core of who that character is.
Right.
Right.
Which is something that I think the comic industry in general can learn from.
Absolutely.
You don't have to change the core of who that character is to get something fresh and new out of that character. We just
Absolutely.
need fresh and new stories for those
Who
characters.
would follow a character, or a artist or writer, like no matter what, like
I mean,
through everything?
I absolutely.
You know,
do
Well, the
all
first thing you
time.
have to do is
Through all
remember
their
their name.
and what series they're on.
Black Science. Is that what you're talking about?
All
Rick
right.
Remender is a fucking saint. And you shut your whore mouth.
All right. Well, guys, that is it for us. That is our halftime report. So I want to reiterate, we're doing this in a comic shop right now. So many of the books that we've spoken about are on the shelves. They're out in trades. If you don't get them now, you want to come by, go to your local comic shop tomorrow, Monday, whenever they're open. We hope you've heard some series that you might not be reading that you have decided you want to read, kind of like Immortal Hulk. That you just that you need to read. If you have enjoyed what you have heard here tonight, barring Jerry being Jerry, you should check out our podcast. We drop new episodes every Sunday.
It's okay. I won't be here for much longer, so you don't have to worry about that.
We drop new episodes every Sunday. We also have a Facebook group it's great, man. People from all over the place are on there. We're talking about comics. We're talking about news. We're creating a community, and that's what it's all about. We love it. We want to thank you all for listening to the show. We want to thank especially Tom Cop and Vampirella for coming out tonight.
Thank you, audience.
And eating our pizza and enjoying our company. And if there is nothing else, be careful going home and go forth and love some comics. Woo! There we go.